When the US government puts restrictions on US companies to sell cutting edge technology to countries like China, then countries like China figure out their own solutions and actually advance their own technology to catch up with our own with even more enthusiasm and speed. Specifically, the US government put limits on China having NVIDIA's most advanced H20 chips. So what did the Chinese do? Well, they figured out how to create AI GPT models that didn't have to rely on all that chip technology. The company DeepSeek, that gave the entire world jitters back in January, managed to create and train large language models for allegedly 1/100th the cost that was required before. Why? Because they didn't have access to the chips, and they figured, well, we got to make more with less, and then they figured it out. Now, what has happened with the US government continuing to restrict NVIDIA from selling H20 chips to the Chinese? Well, the Chinese have gone ahead and created their own chip factories to rival it. Alibaba, the Chinese company, is now pumping out chips and is about to pump out chips that aren't as good as ours, but they're good enough. And now that the US government has taken back some of those trade restrictions, the Chinese are like, we don't need your chips anyway because we're doing it ourselves. I believe in a free market. I believe in a free, open, global market. When you impose artificial restrictions on the businesses in your own country to do business globally, it always ends up biting you back in your own ass. Let's learn from these mistakes. We withheld tens, hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue from American companies because we felt we didn't want to give China an advantage. And what we actually did was encourage the Chinese to not only develop new technology, new GPT models that could be done faster and cheaper and better, but we actually motivated the Chinese to create their own chips. They're not as good as ours, but who knows? They soon will be, and it's on us for being restrictive about global trade.